Yeah, hi, it's the 8th of April 2018 at 2 p.m. I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball here, a different. I'm going to take a different tack on this, all right? And this is in no way a defence of women or anything else. It's just opening up the conversation a little bit, just exploring our thoughts a little bit more. But recently I've started to wonder if women are, and particularly feminists, are actually traumatized women, and suffering from some, that they got traumatized very early in life and just have never been able to shake it. Now I know that sounds strange, okay, but just bear with me. I sort of really started to think about it when I was speaking to my Romanian friend the other day, Karina, Bumba, I call her Bumba, and I was telling her about Bry and how he's knocked up the two sisters in the Philippines. And her comment was straight up, shame on him. I got very angry, very annoyed, really got my hackles up. Hang on, Bill. Why shame on him? He didn't rape them. They were up for it. And they were quite happy to do it. Oh. And I said, what's the... Well, influencing young girls like that. I said, boom, AB's 36. She's older than you. She's not a child. She's quite, and she's the one that told me she's quite happy about the whole thing. Oh, it's a religious thing. And I thought, oh, well, not really. I mean, she said, oh, it's incest. I said, no, it's not incest. No, incest is when family members, no, Bry had sex with two family members, but he wasn't a family member himself. And I just thought, I found it strange. I thought, yeah, this is what it's like. It just doesn't matter what happens, how much trouble's caused, or anything. Men are always arseholes, or men are always wrong, no matter what. Now, I happen to know that Boom had a terrible time at school. She was bullied badly, and in fact, I was suggesting to her or something she'd do I wanted to do a sort of on a different channel for a different thing. I wanted to do a video with her, and she would respond to me. We'd sort of talk to one another and bounce it around like that. No, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. No. People are so mean. They're so cruel, Bob. They're nasty. I said, Bob, my wife and eldest daughter used to. I get a few rude comments on the channel, but I used to get that every morning about the sum total of what I've received in total. Yeah, I'd get that every morning. Yeah, pretty much before I got out of bed. But I mean, no, I would have got it on average on a daily basis. That's why it doesn't bother me here. It's just yeah. It's like talking to my wife. Yep. Yeah, okay, dear. Whatever you say. Yep. And the daughter. Yep. Whatever. And I said, and you laughed at that. You thought that was funny. You thought that was acceptable for them to treat me like that. But yet, as soon as I dare suggest it to you, no, you don't want to know anything about it. And I thought, okay, now what's going on here? I thought, right, you've been. I think she's still in trauma. I really think it's just how it struck me. I just thought, because it's nothing's adding up there. And I got to thinking about my own family. This is interesting because I married a Catholic girl. Okay, and the deal was, you had to sign a piece of paper saying you send the children to any children you had to a Catholic school. Yep, that's it. Yeah, okay. Sign that on the dotted line. So when eventually came time to send our children, our first child, to school, well, I'd signed the piece of paper, hadn't I? So I was going to honour that commitment. I wasn't about to change it. I wasn't going to Welsh on the deal. So yep. So off we went, and Sue was saying, "Oh, such a sweet little school up there, isn't it?" Well, to be honest, the boys, I have to say, were anything but sweet, all right? And they would have been very menacing to a girl, and my daughter had a lot of trouble with them. So I used to go up, and of all things, I taught cricket to the girls, to help out. The boys were just really full on. Okay, now I wouldn't be surprised if all of those girls ended up feminists and ended up with the psyche that boys are assholes and what have you. Because those boys were, I'm going to be honest, yep, they were only kids, but they were already assholes. Very aggressive, very, they're going to get to the top of everything. Oh, in sport, in academically, everything. Oh, they beat and everything. Yeah, and they beat the girls down too. Now, by contrast, my second daughter, because I pulled, I really just got Jackie out of there. I just thought, nah, I don't like the school at all. This sweet little, nice little school. We went to the state school, where she flourished actually, and But I think I'm starting to think that's where the trouble was, at that school. It was an indoctrination of a kind, yeah, and it was, yeah. But my other daughter, the sweetest, nicest girl you'll ever meet in your life, really easy to get along with. Vaughan and I just got along like a house on fire, just perfect. I think we had one argument in, the 13 or 12 years or something I was with her. One. And it wasn't really an argument. That's how comfortable the relationship was. And she went to the state school where there's not the pressure. In fact, the boys there were, sweet. They were no different from the girls. It was very. But I know I'd seen both kindergartens, and one was just one was would have been a traumatic experience for Jackie, and the other was a very pleasant experience. In the state school, Siobhan, learnt dancing, and the teacher used to put on ABBA music and that sort of thing, and sew all their costumes. Beautiful. Jackie would have loved it. And I just, I look back on it and think, no doubt Jackie is more aggressive, more determined. She's a better product, if you like, for economically or whatever. She'll end up. She's got a great pass in a high school certificate. She'll go on. She'll have a great career. Yeah, and that's for sure. And she'll just destroy along the way. Whereas Siobhan probably won't do as well, in her career or whatever. But people will love her. People will come to her and just, she's got a lovely soul, lovely heart, because it hasn't been ruined, it hasn't been forced. But yeah, and that's the two. But in all, lived in the same house, same parents, same everything. But one is just a ball-breaking feminist, Jackie, and the other one's just a lovely girl. Anybody would love to have her as a wife or a daughter or a sister or anything. It's just very, very pliable, very nice. Well, look, she was last time I spoke to her. She's been poisoned against me by the other two. I used to call her Cinder Vaughan. That's how bad I got, and that's with the mother and the daughter. Yeah, Cinder Vaughan. That's what I called her. And Jackie didn't like that. But that's the. It just got it's. As I said, I'm not defending, but there's a case where you've got two women, or three actually, including my wife. I think both Jackie and Sue, my wife, were traumatized at school. Very great workers. They work hard and do so. But I reckon, in the playground or whatever, they were traumatized as children. Because it doesn't matter what you do, you could never ever be a reason, just never, ever. Now, I'm wondering, given that, these people are so determined, so these traumatised women could become the feminists that have led all the other women. And, they're so powerful and so strong, and they hold all the key positions. Yeah, and they're really out to attack men. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know, this is all anecdotal, right? Okay, I don't know. I'm just throwing out an idea. But it seems to be that the guys that are being hit are the guys from the state school. They're the ones that never, ever did anything to women. We weren't the arseholes. It was the other guys. Okay? And it looks like we're paying the price for it. And we're the ones probably being told by the other guys who are actually the arseholes, telling us that we're arseholes. And we're the ones that have been... it could be a narcissistic thing. It probably is. But it's like it probably bowled us over and shocked us, and made us, like what the hell's going on? But it could be between them. There's something like that is happening, maybe. I don't know. Look, but that's just my own experience from my own life. But and I have two daughters. The only difference was they started off in different schools, and it was all done. All the damage with Jackie was done. I think she was 10 or something when she went to the state school. Yeah, something like that. So it was all done before age 10. Everything that had happened, because at age 10, both girls. I know because I monitored it. The chalk and cheese. Two totally different girls. One was an absolute pleasure to be with. The other one was a total pain in the arse. The pain in the arse will be very, very successful, very determined, and she'll climb to the top of whatever it is she decides to do. Yeah, the other one will, float through life probably, but that's the difference. Now, I don't mean anything against Catholics or religious or anything. It's just it's more that what I'm trying to bring here is the idea of trauma, that perhaps there's trauma behind it, because something. I just couldn't believe Boomba the other day. I really couldn't. I thought, after all of this, after all I've told you, why do you have to point the finger at the guy? Well, it's just as easy. It's everybody there in that arrangement. But certainly AB as well. I mean, she was part of it. She's not that stupid. She's 36 years old, and she's quite capable of, and she knows what the deal is. She agreed to it. Yeah, but why point to him? Oh, it's his fault. It's always the man's fault. And I think that's really what's happening in the world that we can't stand. You all talk about female nature and everything, but it's that bias or whatever it is. It's boys are bad. Now, and I'm starting to think that that's coming from something in childhood. It might not even be the school. It could be, the attitude of the father to the boys and to the girls. I don't know, but there's something like that going on, because, it's just illogical that in that situation, why would you point the finger at Bri? Why wouldn't you say, God, they're all bloody? What are they all doing? It's whether you agree with it or don't agree, at least it's all of them. It's not, why just him? Why turn the spotlight on? Man, bad. And that's the thing. It just struck me as, it's coming from trauma. But anyway, I'll leave you with a thought. It'll give you something to, churn over. Come up with some abusive, rude comments about. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.